So the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to establish the best medium for you before you start blogging, right? So let me ask you something. How can you create the most interesting content? Is it audio? So if you can't write something interesting that people are interested in, then listen, don't do written content. Right? Don't try to commit to being this super duper writer if you can't create interesting content. How can you be the most consistent? Those are almost the same two questions, right? Because if the topic doesn't interest you, if it doesn't give you energy, then you're probably not going to be very consistent, right? You're probably not going to be. When it comes to audio, right? If audio is the best of the production value, are you going to be best live, right? Or are you going to be best recorded? Got to think about that, right? How are you going to do this? Would you be more comfortable doing it by yourself? Or would you be more comfortable interviewing people? Again, it is a different way of delivering content to people who want it. But make the decision up front. And you already know, right? If I were to sit down with you and we were to look at your past, we would look at the stuff you're doing online, you already know if you're an audio woman, if you're an audio guy. You already know that. Training, right? So again, I mean, are you going to be the kind of person that does training? I like to do training. Right? I mean, I know I like to do interviews. I know I can be on live, but I like to do live training. Video. And now here's the issue with video, right? And I want to tell you this. If you decide you're going to do video, you're going to do a video blog, the issue is going to be editing. And so you can do video blogging as long as you're not going to be worried about production value, and you're going to post stuff up when you get it done. Right? Editing is the stuff that takes time. Right? Shooting the video doesn't take any time. Uploading it doesn't take any time. Even if all you're doing is you are, let's say, optimizing it, that doesn't take very long. No, it takes the longest time? Editing. Right? So if you know that editing is going to be a problem, but you want to do video blogging, you might need to find somebody to help you to do it. But editing is something you got to solve if video is going to be your medium. You can also interview people using video. Now, again, that's a totally different thing. You can use Google Hangouts if you're going to be in one place and versus going to be in another place, or you're going to have to be able to do some camera shooting if you want to do in-person interviews. Again, that kind of person is going to be rare, but again, because it's rare, means then that there are not a whole lot of people doing it. And it's a great way for you to differentiate yourself. Are you just going to kind of be on the video kind of going for it, right? Are you going to be doing training in the video? And then, of course, now, again, I love written content. I love reading blogs, but I need to, you and I both know this, and this is the elephant in the middle of the room. We are a less literate society these days, right? So it isn't that your content isn't interesting. It's just we're a little less literate, and we have a little less patience than we used to have when it comes to reading stuff. And now there's so much knowledge on video and audio. It's not that, and again, please don't hear me say, and because I'm not saying this, that audio is better or video is better than writing a blog post. Because I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that we are a less literate society than we used to be. And people are more dependent now on audio and visual. And so you have to understand that. You have to be willing to accept that if you decide that you are going to do a written blog, and that's you're going to base your site on. You have to establish a home base from the start. Now, again, even if you choose not to do writing, you need a home base, right? You've heard me say this over a number of periods of time. You got to have a home base, got to have a blog or website, and this is going to be the hold everything. Right? You need a simple to use but professional WordPress blog. Now I know there's Wix and all other kind of other stuff out there. I'm going to suggest that if you want to have something that's going to be easy to use, you can grow with it. Right? A very simple to use but professional WordPress blog. You should be posting your content on a regular basis on this site. Now, you might say, now, you just told me I don't have to write. True. What I am saying is, if you're a podcaster, you should be posting to your blog. If you deliver your content through email, you should be posting your emails to your blog. And again, this is something that it takes a discipline to do. If you are a video creator, you should be posting your videos to your blog on a regular basis. Again, this is something that people do, but just don't talk about the fact they're doing it. And then what you should be sharing across the internet should be your blog. right? You should be sharing your blog. So in other words, you're going to do a podcast on Blog Talk Radio, you're going to do it on iTunes. Wonderful. Put that on your blog and start sharing your blog. Put it on your website, start sharing your website. Don't just share the platform link. Don't just share the YouTube link. Don't just share the Blog Talk Radio link. Don't just share the iTunes link. Share them once they're on your blog, right? So again, you and I, regardless of what kind of content we choose to produce, we need to have a home base, right? That home base is going to be your website, your blog. And it needs to be something you can update on a regular basis. And it needs to be something you can access to easily. Have it designed if you can, right? Pay, just outsource having it designed. Please do not try to design your own website. You don't have to do that anymore. And again, if you're just pressed for time and money, then yeah, you can do a few things, but I'm going to suggest, you can get people on Fiverr to do little things. You can build a little bit at a time. Please do not try to be a designer, because if you decide to become a designer and you're not, it's going to look like it, right? So again, get out of the design business. Get out of it. Let somebody else do it. You can find people on Fiverr, the Warriors for Hire section, Upwork. Now, again, they're going to range in price, but you can find a designer at your price level. Whatever your price level is, you can find a designer at it. And so what I'm going to suggest to you, and again, I know that they're very cool apps, but they're wonderful, and I think they're fantastic. Get out of the design business, please. Right? Get out of it. Right? If your job is to produce high quality and irresistible content, that's what you got to focus on. You have to focus on keeping people interested, not on creating a mediocre design. Right? Because if you're not a designer, you and I are both mediocre designers. So please do not try to be a designer. I don't care. Listen. So yeah, they've got great templates. I don't care about that stuff. Right? Focus on your content. Focus on having awesome content. Focus on finding super duper guests. Get out of the design business. Now, I want to say a little bit about brand when you start talking about your website. Brand is not only what you say about yourself. So again, people start talking about their brand about yourself. It's not just what you and I say about ourselves. It's what we're doing every day and repeating. So in other words, it's the perception we're creating every day with our actions. So again, if you're producing, let's say, one blog post on a regular basis, and that whatever you're doing in your subject matter in those posts, that will become your brand, because that's how you're going to establish what's going on in the client's head about you. Right now, again, right alongside of this, establish monetization from the start. Please do not start a blog or a podcast or a video blog with no way to monetize. Right? Your job is not going to be to sell. Again, it's always going to be to produce content, but you don't want to wait. Right? The hardest thing in the world is going to do, you start getting traffic and you start getting people to watch your videos, or you start getting people to read your blog, and then you wait because you don't want to offend them. You don't want them to think, you don't want them to stop reading because you're going to ask for money. Folks, people don't care. Right? People care about themselves. Right? If you're taking care of them, right, helping them take care of themselves, they don't care if you ask for money. If they want to buy it, they will. If they won't, they don't. But do not, right, start at the beginning not asking for money. Use the feedback that you're getting on your blog to determine what you should be selling. And if possible, you should have something that you can sell at all levels, at all price levels. I didn't put it at all price levels, but that is what I meant. Develop something that's really high price. Develop your stuff all the way down the line. Whatever's high price to you, develop something at that level. Then come all the way down, right, in price, so people can buy something from you at every single level. And now this is going to be toward monetization. Never, ever fully depend on ad revenue, right? So again, we saw, I think, something was called adpocalypse. Right? People who were dependent on that ad revenue, and that's all they did, they saw a substantial drop in their revenue. And here's what's interesting. It was a ripple effect that happened here in the United States, but it was felt worldwide. Ad revenue was down. And so you can never really depend on ad revenue if that's how you are making your money, if that's how you're making your bread. Never fully depend on sponsorship. Right? And again, I'm not saying don't go after sponsors. You should get sponsors if you're creating content on a regular basis. Do not depend on it. right? Because you have no control over, someone tells the sponsor, hey, do you know what these people are saying? Then they're going to come back to the sponsor that's saying, well, we're not going to buy from you if you continue to sponsor this. Again, out of your control. You have no control over sponsorship. So again, don't rely on it, but have it. Affiliate marketing, we talked about this, right? Don't depend on it, right? Use it, go for it, but don't depend on it. Anything that depends on somebody else should supplement your income, right? Supplement it, right? Not make it. You don't want the makeup of your income from your regular blogging, your regular podcast, your regular video channel, whatever it is you're doing. Please do not make those things the foci of your strategy. And here's what I want to say about any of this, right? So if you found a revenue source and it was easy to get, it's just as easy to lose, right? So don't feel like, well, it's taken a long time for me to build up the income for this thing. Don't worry about that, because again, more than likely, if you can get it really fast, you can lose it really fast too. So don't necessarily fully depend on fast traffic and fast money. One thing that kind of sounds a little obscure, it's kind of in a different area that I will say for you in terms of monetization. If you're doing something on a regular basis, you can do branded merchandise, right? You just have to make sure it's going to be on demand. So don't do t-shirts and then get a box full of t-shirts at your house, trying to get rid of them. Don't do that. Make sure whatever you get, it's going to be on demand if you decide to do merchandise with your brand on it. And then, if you're selling information products, make sure that you consider Kunaki to sell physical information products.